Hey everybody, this is Kevin Hill here. Welcome to the very first episode of the podcast. I'm really excited to get this going, to kind of share a lot of the knowledge that I've gained over 15 years of being a direct response copywriter, helping a lot of people with their copy, and helping marketers in general. So really excited. So a little bit of background on myself. I've been writing copy for about 15 years now. Being a marketing consultant as well. In 2006 is where I got my start. I started writing copy in 2006, and then I got my start with Russell Brunson, the ClickFunnels guy. And working with Russell was pretty awesome. I was able to work in his office, which was pretty cool. I was in his office for 4 or 5 years, learned a heck of a lot. He's a really cool guy. And then about 2011, I decided I want to become a freelancer. And so that's when I began my journey. I've been a freelance copywriter for about 10 years now. Wrote copy for Dan Kennedy and GKIC from 2011 to 2014, 15, while working with other clients. And then probably about 2016 or so. And then since then, I've been working with different people. I worked with Clayton Makepeace for a while. He was really, it was a dream to work for him. Worked for Agora Publishing, a lot of financial copy, wrote up some supplement copy. I'm kind of a jack of all trades type person. And but a lot of my copy is focused on e-commerce and information products. That's kind of my focus. And it's been quite a ride. A couple other people I've worked for, Harry Dent, the economist. I was his one of his copywriters. I wrote copy for his events, and another specialty I have is event copy. So written a lot of copy for events like Dan's events, Dan Kennedy's events, Agora's events, like their Harry Dent. So that's another specialty of mine is event copy. So not to brag or anything, but just to show you guys that, I've been doing this for a while. Been part of a lot of launches, a lot of different, it's been crazy. So, and what's crazy about that is that I didn't even know what a copywriter was until 2005. So my previous life, I was in grad school. I wanted to become a professor. I was grad school at Penn State, wanted to be a professor. I wanted to teach like my dad. My dad was a college professor, and I always liked the life that he led. But over a long, third or fourth year of grad school, my research wasn't really doing that great. I wanted to do something different, and I wanted to go into something like, what can I do? I told myself, what can I do in order to, something I could go into that didn't require me to go to more school, because I knew that working in a lab for the rest of my life wasn't really for me. I wanted to change. And so that was, make a long story short, I discovered copywriting. I thought, well, I was always a good writer. It was just a matter of taking that skill and creating, kind of honing it and becoming more persuasive with my writing. And so I really just fell in love with it. And that's kind of how I got my start with Russell. I'd only been a copywriter for like 6 months, doing some random freelance jobs here and there. He saw some potential in me and kind of took me under his wing and pretty much gave my start. So anyway, so that's my little background. Location-wise, I'm located in Boise, Idaho. I'm married, have a beautiful wife, and very happy. And a lot of people move into Boise these days. So it's a really pretty place, but hey, there's not enough room for everybody here. So anyway, I'll just say that. Okay, so the content I want to get into today are the 7 deadly copywriting blunders that most people make in their copy. I've been doing this a very, very long time, and a lot of what I do for Russell, for every single client that I've had, is some aspect of coaching, some aspect of leading a mastermind or teaching a mastermind or doing copy critiques. And so I've seen a lot of copy. I've given a lot of critiques. Like right now, one of my clients, he runs an $80,000 mastermind group a year. Imagine that, $80,000 mastermind group per year. That's crazy, right? And so he has me do weekly copy critiques or copy labs. Like he calls them clinics. And so I go on every week and I do copywriting clinics for my client. People come on, ask questions about the copy. I give them, suggestions, that sort of thing. And Josh does the same thing for me too. So I've been working with Josh off and on for the year and a half. He recently, we kind of have a little partnership deal going on, and equity type thing. And so he's also been paying me a retainer. So Josh has me do weekly kind of copywriting clinics for his accelerator clients. So if you move on to the accelerator with Josh, you'll be able to have me help you with your copy every week. So anyway, a lot of experience helping people with copy. Russell had me speak at masterminds a lot of masterminds, speak at his events. I've spoken on stage for Dan Kennedy, GKIC, teaching about copy. So, seen a lot of experience here. So what I want to cover today are what I call the 7 copywriting sins that most people make. This is stuff that comes up every single time, most of the time, either one of these. So let's get right into it. All right. The first big mistake people make is not telling people why they should do business with you over someone else. So when it comes to e-commerce, the biggest blunder I see people make is that they want to sell like a sleep supplement or like right now, CBD is very popular, right? CBD supplement. But there's really no like unique mechanism or unique angle that makes them stand out from everybody else. It's mostly like, okay, just another sleep supplement, right? Just another, there was a lady that I had that was on one of our clinics. She sells these really, really fancy suitcases, right? But they kind of look like all the other suitcases you should go to like JCPenney and buy, right? So it's like, what's that thing that's going to set you apart from competition? And most of the time, I will say this, most of the time, what will set you apart is, it could be like a unique mechanism of some sort. Like I remember coaching Josh a little bit on, because he had the same problem, right? He's like, okay, I have this awesome system for teaching people how to, grow an e-commerce business, but he didn't really have like a, unique mechanism that make him stand out. And, Josh and I are in a mastermind together. And so I remember responding to him and saying, okay, well, how about you create this ARM5 formula? And, went through, there were a couple of back and forths going on there, but the gist of it was that, hey, ARM5 formula, that's kind of your thing that makes you set apart. Okay. So that's one way, unique mechanism. The other way could be a unique ingredient or unique story behind the product. So I've done a lot of some supplement company, and what we used to do is we used to just take like some kind of ingredient that was kind of rare, unique, and kind of like if it was like discovered in Africa or something like that, or the Indians used to use it, and now it's discovered now or whatever. Some kind of a backstory. And we kind of position it in the copy to make it the unique thing, the big thing that makes it stand out from the rest. So and then the last thing I'll say is that I remember in another group, fellas came along and said, "Hey, I want to do a sleep supplement or sell a sleep supplement." But the copy was great, right? The copy was great. He had testimonials, but there was nothing on there that was like, okay, this is why this is different, why this time is going to be different. Or this is good. How this is going to separate, or be how this is going to stand out from all the other supplements, right? Why should you buy this one versus that one? There was really no differentiator there. So that's the biggest mistake a lot of people make is with copy, and that's not necessarily a copy thing. It's more of like a marketing type angle, right? But I included this in the copy because it's it's usually the copywriter's responsibility to figure out the angle or the come up with like what makes this stand out. That's more or less the copywriter's job. So that's the first mistake. Second mistake is not really telling a compelling story or telling stories. I see a lot of people, they have a really, really awesome backstory, like either themselves or the product, like they were they're on the golf course one day and they saw a guy hit a drive 300 yards and they came up with this idea. There's no like backstory. And so stories are very, very underutilized in copy and in marketing in general. And so, the story could be your story, it could be a story of a case study. Really, the more outlandish the story, the better. The more unconventional the story, the better. So, telling a compelling story will help help people bond to you as like the guru or the company. But it also telling the story behind why a product was created, or if something was like an accidental discovery or something like that. That kind of makes that product kind of stand out a little bit. And so not telling, you got to tell stories in copy, right? Like I said, origin story, how the product's created, stories of case studies, like people who got results for the product. Also, the other stories you could do are stories that overcome objections, right? So, if you have the common objection of like price, or how fast the product works, or how fast that they get the results. Well, that's when you have a case study or testimonial that says, boom, I used this product and it was pretty awesome, right? So I think that every any business, not just e-com, should have a database of stories that you tell people that you can use in your marketing over and over again, depending on like in your sales pages, your emails, follow up, that sort of thing. Very, very powerful asset to have, because in reality, it's like stories. People are inherently love stories. That's something that's kind of like inherent in all humans, right? We all love stories. When I was a kid, my mom used to read stories to me, and I would be like, okay, I don't know how many times she's read Dr. Seuss to me, but I really love the story. I'm like, yeah, tell me a story. And when you walk up to anybody, like in a store, or like to go up to a friend and say, hey, I have a story to tell you, everybody's going to perk up, because people just inherently love stories. Okay, so that's the second mistake. The third mistake is not having a hook that grabs your prospect by the lapels and forces them to read their ad. And so a lot of times, when I write copy, what I try to do is I try to write copy. I try to write something that is totally different than what everybody has seen before. And we'll talk a little more about like market sophistication and that sort of thing. But you as a copywriter, either if you write it, or if you hire me to write it, the copywriter's job is to make that product stand out, or make that ad stand out. And the number one way I do that is to write something that nobody has ever seen before. Okay, so like if you come along with a headline, you're writing a product or a copy for a weight loss product, right? How to lose 10 pounds in 30 days, while eating junk food or something like that, right? That's kind of like a unique hook, right? It's kind of unconventional, because people think, well, if you're eating junk food, you're not going to lose weight. But another example of a hook is if you have a really compelling story. That's why stories are important, right? If you have a really, really outlandish story, then you could lead with something like, how a one-legged golfer. This was actual thing that was written by another copywriter, John Carlton. He was writing copy for a golf product, and he was able to. I guess the story behind it was that the guy was playing golf one day and he saw a one-legged golfer, and people thought, well, the guy was just going to fall over, kind of like hopped up, and people think it was going to fall over. But then he like went back and swung at the ball and hit the ball like 300 yards or something like that. So, and that was kind of the big hook, right? So the hook could be your story. If it's like the more outlandish, the better, right? And so that's the importance, is like having a hook, or having something that's like really going to grab the attention of your ad. That's not like what anybody has seen before. So the more unconventional, the better. Okay, so the big mistake number 4 is not having a lot of proof. So people really, really, really mess up on this, is that they don't have a lot of case studies, testimonials that show that proof that the product actually gets the results that are being advertised. And so, and there are other ways to show proof other than just testimonials and case studies. For example, you can have demonstrations, right? So the Auric Excel vacuum, that's like a really good example of a demonstration where they take the vacuum and it's sucking up a bowling ball. That's something that you guys can look up on your own. That's demonstration. That's demonstrating the power of that vacuum. And so anytime you can use demonstration is very, very powerful. One of the things that I was going to, the lady I talked to previously I mentioned previously that who had the company that sold the really, really tough suitcases. One idea for her is to like take that suitcase and like, drop it downstairs or like drop it off of a second story window or something like that. And then it's still together, right? All the stuff is still in there. That's like a really creative way to demonstrate the power of the product. And that's an element of proof, right? That's an element of proof. And so the last thing I will leave you with this point is that you want to pretend, and what helps me out is that I pretend that I am a lawyer who is trying to make a case for a judge to convince a jury or a judge. So, I'll if I'm a lawyer, I'm going to do everything I can to convince the judge and jury of my side of the case. So I'll have exhibits, I'll have demonstrations, I'll have witnesses. So, this is something that you can kind of think about. Go through your own marketing, go through your own materials, and ask yourself, like, okay, well, do I have a preponderance of proof? Are people like believing everything that I'm saying? Am I backing everything up with proof that, hey, this actually works? And which kind of leads me to the next point is not backing up statements or claims with facts. So one of the things that I do is when I sit down to write a page is I have a question in my head. The question is, what do I need my prospect to believe in order to buy from me, right? That's pretty much the question I have in my head all the time. And then I go through and that's pretty much the outline of my pitch of the sales letter is, what do I need, and so for example, let's say that I'm writing a sales letter for a supplement, like a weight loss supplement, right? Naturally, what I have to get people to believe is that this supplement works. And so that's when I'm like, okay, well, I need to, then the subhead in the actual letter will be, proof that this supplement works or something like that. And then I'll have like, stats, and I'll have testimonials, that sort of thing. And then the other thing is that any claim that you make. So let's say that, you're selling a sleep supplement, right? So if you make the claim that, hey, take this supplement and you'll be asleep in like 40 minutes and you'll sleep throughout the night or something like that. This is just an hypothetical example, right? And so then that's when you kind of backed up the statement with fact, because people are inherently skeptical, right? People have seen all the claims, they've seen, they're like, okay, yeah, right, whatever. And so that's when you want to back it up with facts. Like, well, then the fact could be like, well, we what happened was we took this, we did a study where, we took like X number of people, we gave them the supplement, and they were able to fall asleep and stay asleep during a certain time. And so you're basically backing everything up, because you never want to make a claim, you never want to make a bold statement without some kind of a proof or some kind of fact that kind of that backs that up. Another example I would give you is that what a lot of the copy that I write is for like B2B type copy, and so like social media, helping people promote their business through social media. And so one of the things I have to get people to believe is that social media is awesome, and video marketing is everywhere, and you got to jump on it if you want to build your business. And so then I would write something like, okay, video marketing is the place to be if you want to explode your business. That would be like a subhead. But then I would have like a bunch of stats, like, for example, X studies showed that YouTube is the third most trafficked site, and 80% or whatever, some other stat of people watch video all the time. And so what you're doing is you're backing up that statement with facts. And so when people go for the facts, they're like, "Wow, I didn't know that," So I do believe that. And so yeah, that's the biggest thing. Is big mistake number 5, not backing up statements and claims with facts. You have to, every single claim, every single statement or big proclamation you make, you have to back it up somehow, because people are like I said, people are very, very skeptical. Okay. And when you have that in your copy, then people would be like, "Oh yeah, it makes it more, that those results they got, like this study said this, and prove that statement." And so yeah, and I will repeat this again. This is something you want to tattoo on your forehead as a copywriter. Is you want to ask yourself, what does my prospect need to believe in order to buy from me? Very, very, very important. Okay. So big mistake number 6 is, and we're almost wrapping up here, we've got a couple more, is not telling your prospect how your product or service is going to change their life. Well, a big mistake that I see people make in copy is that they sell like the immediate benefit of what the actual product is going to do for them, or the supplement, or what it's going to do for them. Like, for example, for the sleep supplement, they just sell the fact that, okay, well, they're going to get plenty of sleep, right? You'll be able to sleep better, and it's all about sleep, 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 sleep. That's like the immediate benefit, but a lot of people don't really go deeper into like what I call it the ripples, right? So you go to a pond, you throw a rock in the pond, it goes into the pond, and then there's like ripples that come out. Like, what are the benefits of the benefits? That how is that person going to be transformed? What other areas of that life, the ripples that is going to that's going to be a result of that benefit that they're going to get, right? In this case of the sleep supplement, it's like, okay, what is getting more sleep going to do for them? It's going to help them make more. It's going to help make more money. Yeah, it could help them make more money, right? They'll be able to be more productive, get more things done in their business, and they'll make more money, right? Relationships will be better, so they won't be on edge all the time. They won't be cranky. They won't, all like the symptom, the drawbacks of not getting sleep are just reversed, right? And so what you're doing is you're describing to people like how their life, what's the big transformation, very, very important here, the big transformation that's going to happen when they take this product. Like example for a weight loss product, right? The big transformation isn't just, okay, you're losing weight. There's like confidence. There's, you'll be able to go to the beach in the middle of summer and show off your bikini bod or something like that. And you'll impress your friends, and you'll be more confident. The confidence will pervade other areas of your life. You'll be a better business person. Family life will be better. You'll be a good example to your kids, right? And so this is like, how that's that transformation, right? It's not just, okay, take pill, get result. It's how that's going to change their life. And the last thing is the last mistake people make is not really ascertaining what they're up against in their marketplace. So I see this all the time. People come up, they contact me. They're like, "Hey, Kevin, I am going to create the ultimate supplement, right? Or the ultimate course. This is like never been done before, right? And so I want you to write copy for it." And so, invariably, I get a lot of projects come to my plate, right? And most of them are by experienced marketers that kind of know what they're doing. But then occasionally I'll get a new person, and they're like, "Hey, I want to create this course." And I tell them, I'm like, you are going up against a lot of different people, right? And most of the time it's like, okay, they'll hire me, and then I'll go and I'll kind of help them with the unique hook, unique angle, and all the things that we talked about to make it more unique. But it's evident that a lot of people don't really do a lot of research or competitive research to see what has already been done, right? What else is out there? What their prospects are looking at, or has already seen before, basically. Now, this is called market sophistication. This is a concept that Gene Schwartz wrote about in his book Breakthrough Advertising, which I highly recommend getting. And so basically what he's saying is that there are different levels of market sophistication, right? All the way from the person who they woke up one morning, they've never seen a weight loss product before, and then they see the ad, and then it's like, okay, the ad's like very, very simple, like, hey, lose 10 pounds in 40 days or something like that. And they're like, oh yeah, heck yeah, I want to do that, and they'll get the product. So, and the sophistication, it basically goes all the way down to the other end of the spectrum, is that the person who has seen product after product. They're on people's email lists. They're online and they see ads pop up. Like, they have seen everything, all the claims. They've seen all the big promises. They've seen all the gurus or the experts. They may have even like tried. And another common thing for weight loss is that they may have even tried like diet after diet after diet. Like they went from Atkins diet to like keto to their Dr. Phil's diet, or so, I don't know. And so they're a highly sophisticated audience that they have run the gamut of how to lose weight, and they bought books and everything else. That's a highly sophisticated person. To come along and to present them with an ad that says lose 10 pounds in 40 days, that's not really going to cut it for them. That's not going to get their attention, because they have seen that, right? They've seen the big promises. And so a lot of people, they really don't get what they're up against. And the other thing I will say is that they don't really understand like the psychology or where the prospect is in their journey, like in their journey, like life journey, whatever you want to call it. So, for example, if you're selling a lot of the copy I wrote for Dan Kennedy was selling products on how to help people build their business, like get more clients and customers and stand out and that sort of thing. And so one of the things that a big belief, or what we needed to do to sell to these people, was that one thing that's I call it, and this isn't my quote, this is actually Robert Collier's quote, who wrote the Robert Collier Letter book, which is another good book I highly recommend taking or reading. Is you got to enter the conversation in your prospect's mind, right? What is the prospect thinking about on a daily basis? What are the fears? What are the false beliefs they have? What's going on in their heads, basically, right? Like, for example, for right when I wrote for Dan Kennedy, it was like, we were selling to these entrepreneurs, and so one of the things that's going on in their heads right now is that when they see a page, is that, okay, well, I've already tried something like this before. I already tried direct mail, it didn't work. I already tried social media, it didn't work. I got ripped off by some ad vulture local ad person who I paid like 30 grand to do local ads for me, but it didn't do anything, right? So it was all of this stuff. That's kind of what's in people's mind, is that, at least for that particular market, is that, gosh, I've tried everything, right? Why is this different? Kind of goes back to my first point. And so it's not just like ascertaining what you're up against in like competition wise, but it's also like what's going on, ascertaining what you're up against in the prospect's mind, right? So knowing this, and that kind of comes with like really, really knowing your target audience, knowing what keeps them up at night, what their fears are, that sort of thing. In this case, for the business owner that was skeptical, has been screwed over before. That's something that we determine through multiple surveys, depending on what people are clicking in emails and that sort of thing. That's something that we knew that was a big problem. And so knowing that, we decided, okay, well, how do we adjust our messaging so that we're answering that inner dialogue that's going on in their heads? And so that's when we started talking about the mention that top of the copy, like, okay, well, I realized like something like, look, I know you're skeptical. I realize you've been screwed over before, that you bought product after product, jumped from a shiny object to another, and just haven't really gone anywhere with your business. And I totally get it. And then I used to write a lot of copy about those ad vultures. That's what I actually called them, ad vultures, right? Those ad vultures who prey on you. They come by your local office and they promise these big results, like, oh, we'll put a TV ad on TV, or we'll do a radio ad or a newspaper ad. Just pay us a lot of money and we'll do it for you, but there's no accountability. We don't know if it's going to work or not, right? No accountability. And it's usually like some kind of a brand advertising thing where you're trying to get your name out there, and there's no call to action. It's not like direct response or anything like that. And so that's very important, because if we approached the offer or had an offer or presented an offer to them, it's like, how to get clients in X number of days and, secret technique or whatever. They're going to be like, I already done that before, right? I've been screwed over so many times, they're just going to ignore that message. So, and a lot of this, I will say, is something that, I have a lot of clients that come to me. They're like, okay, my, what do my people want, right? What's kind of in their prospect's mind and all that. And unless they're in that market, they're in that market. They're that person themselves. They don't really know, right? You can make some educated guesses, like, okay, well, they're this, like they're like, for the business owner, they're like, okay, well, they're stressed out about money all the time, or they want to get more clients, or they want to, scale their business. We can come up with like general type, answers to what they want, but ultimately you don't really know until you start selling to them. You start getting feedback, and, you start getting on strategy calls with them, and you start to kind of paint the picture more of what these people really want. And so in a way, it's kind of an iterative process. Like, and most of you know this, right? If you're running a business for a while, you start selling stuff, you get sales, talking to your customers through strategy sessions, customer support. You kind of hone a better picture of what they're all, what's going on in their heads, and then you can kind of adjust the marketing accordingly. So anyway, I kind of like riffed a little bit there on that last mistake, but it's very, very important, right? Enter the conversation going on in your prospect's mind. Not just like, okay, well, I want to lose weight, right? But more of like, what are their fears? Like, like, I'm embarrassed to go out and into the water, or go to the beach right now. I feel like my husband isn't attracted to me because I'm fat. That's like more, head game type stuff, and that you can speak to in your marketing to really resonate with your prospect. So those are the 7 mistakes. I sometimes call them mistakes. I call them blunders, sins. It's all the same. And hopefully this was helpful to you guys, and you got some good takeaways. You can look through your own stuff right now. Go to your website. Go to your emails. Go to your direct mail. Whatever you're doing, Facebook ads, right? Whatever you're doing to promote your business, go there and kind of run through these mistakes, and kind of use it as a filter and see if you're making these blunders. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed the very first episode of the podcast. Hope you got a lot of good takeaways from it, and I will see you next time. Take care. See you next time.